What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 3 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Settra, Great King, the Imperishable, and many more Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, we have taken the Black Pyramid, in fact raised it, and then rebuilt it anew in Settra's glory instead of that of Nagash. In fact, as somebody commented, this should really be the Black Pyramid of Settra, and nowadays nothing of the old pyramid remains. Either way, now there's a Great Pyramid of Settra beside a Black Pyramid of Settra. Tomb of Settra. Another, I don't know, smaller Pyramid of Settra. Twisted Spire of Settra. But anyway, just rename everything. Settra's like one of the most arrogant characters in the entire setting, so I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, I'm already getting off track. Many of you are probably used to it at this point. We took the Black Pyramid, we debuted a bunch of new units, the Tombbarks, the Elhawk Legion of Settra, the Sepulchral Stalkers, my personal favorite unit in the roster, and just had a good time all around. We've also taken out some of the territories belonging to the Necrarch Brotherhood vampire counts here, though haven't encountered their main army. It's still running around somewhere, possibly several of them, so we're looking to find it. In the meantime, though, while we've been dealing with these guys, Manfred's have been growing in strength, up to strength rank 17 with 8 settlements to his name. Well, good for him, I suppose. He can keep on doing that, but sooner rather than later, as in this episode, we'll be going after him. Now, in terms of what we gotta do this turn, I think that there's actually nothing. Well, you know, one thing we could do is drop at least a couple of names before we end the turn, otherwise I should have ended the turn between the episodes. So, since you're my favorite unit, Sepulchral Stalkers, let's go with Snacky Snacks. And how about, what do we have here? Solid Stone Snakes. Alright, just the two, we'll do more names later. For now, let's end the turn and proceed. Alright, what do we have here? A new monument will show the gods that their veneration is still our foremost concern. They, in turn, will strengthen our hands in this time of endless war. But to whom among our pantheon should it be dedicated? Although the degree that they can actually strengthen us is limited because, thanks to Nagash, the covenant between the gods and the Nehekarans is broken, but nonetheless, we got 10 armor for infantry and weapon strength for infantry versus speed for cav. I wonder if this includes, chariots or not. If it doesn't, then this is significantly better than this. So I'm gonna just err on the side of caution here and go for the monument to Geheb. The sand nourishes the dead until their time of arising. Our troops will be strengthened by the earth. And since we picked Geheb, who the god of the earth is also the Ushabti god, maybe we should start building the Ushabti thing. And oh, just a second here. Let me just see here. Wait, Wakaf, you... Where's Geheb here? Geheb, god of earth. We've got +4/+4. Yeah, I just wanted to see what kind of buffs the Geheb worship would give the Ushabti, as I do want to build a couple of Ushabti in... Well, actually, you know what? They probably wouldn't be in Wakaf's army. They'd be in Hakor's army, who wouldn't be able to buff them, but we're not going to get a crazy amount of them anyway. And just want to have some Twin Blade Ushabti with the Twin Blade Nehekara warriors. Kind of makes sense to me. Anyway, I like that you've showed up, Mr. Wasoran. Are you in range of this place? It's kind of unclear. Settra, move slightly towards him. Let's say move along the road. I just want to see if there's another army here. Aha, there is another army here. Alright, makes sense to me. And they are indeed in range. So, Mr. Panet, I guess you're stuck in regular stance. You're going to reinforce. Settra will attack. We'll see if this guy runs, but with 2 stacks, maybe he won't, and we'll have a big ol' fight here. Oh, in fact, if we are going to have a big ol' fight, Khemri and War Sphinx, you will be the line of Tra. Makes sense, considering Settra has the Blade of Tra. Let's also name at least one of the Tombbarks. You can be the Bone Boat. Like so, and we should name at least a couple of the chariots. I still don't know exactly how many we're keeping and of what type, but they can always go to the other army, or the follower army, for Settra to draw upon. Anyway, Title Keepers, and let's do Khemri Drift. And let's do one of the range units as well, or the range chariots rather, as well. A Dune Race. dune erasers for you. Alright, lovely. Settra, jump on in. Let's see what we got. The sand's fine. And Pyrrhic victory. We got lots and lots of undead versus, would you figure it, lots and lots of undead. Should be fun. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Somebody can bring him their bones. Fortunately, there's a lot of them, as we've got, 2.5, close to being 3 stacks arrayed against us. Plenty to have fun with. Now, we've deployed the sort of majority of our chariots on the left flank, together with the bone boat here, as well as one of the tomb princes, the idea being to destroy the enemy direwolves over on this side, while waiting to see what the enemy Terrorgeist does. Obviously, we'll want to knock that thing out before it uses its anti-large capabilities to kill off too many chariots. But that's why we'll be shadowing it with Settra himself. Anyway, here comes the bone boat leading the other chariots, or at the very least helping the other chariots with those auras bits. And 10% damage resistance isn't anything crazy on the fragile chariots, but it's certainly helpful. Anyway, looks like the Terrorgeist will nearly come down. Huh. No, who are you going for? Oh, maybe he wants to go after our ranged chariots, which have been attacking at a teensy bit here. Alright, finally the thing has come down, and rather than letting it lift off, what we're going to do instead is just keep it locked down with our chariots. Using their mass to prevent monsters from going through is pretty useful. Over on the right flank, we've got the chariots charging through the other unit of doggos, and the direwolves have been nearly destroyed by the charge. And get a little bit more damage in there, and then book it on out of there immediately after. And towards our main line. Looks like the enemy lord is heading towards us, and we're going to head him off, or apparently miss, as he charges straight towards our Casket of Souls. Fortunately, the Tomb Guard are there to protect said casket, and will surround the enemy lord. In the meantime, Settra has found the enemy Terrorgeist, and if not quite in a duel, I think this Terrorgeist is attempting to escape Settra. The Khemri and War Sphinx should be able to take care of the big boy just fine, who's down to about 50% of its HP. The doggos are melting away, but the reinforcements have arrived, so we do have a relatively limited time until they get to us. But we gotta remember that these are vampire counts units, and they're gonna be very, very slow on the march. So we do still have time, is what I'm getting at. Terrorgeist down to maybe 15% of his HP as it continues to get pressed by one of the heroes, as well as Settra and the Tomb Bark. And down it goes at last, the biggest threat on the battlefield taken out. Our chariots charge on into some skeleton spears, and then over on the right flank the same thing continues to occur as our chariots annoy the enemy units. And I'm going to press them a little bit with one of the units of Tomb Guard, maybe allow them to blob up and get us more chariot charges on through. In the meantime, our own reinforcements are arriving, and we'll try to send in those skeleton spears to maybe activate the Realm of Souls, and gotta actually get them killed for that, of course. And that's the idea. There we go, sending plenty of enemy skeletons flying as we mosey on in with our chariots and Tomb Bark, which is a magic chariot, so chariots. And the battle is now well and truly joined. The dead once again clash amongst the dunes. But since we have Settra leading the Tomb Kings, our victory is all but assured. And of course we got more of those reinforcements coming in from the shadow of the pyramids. Looks like the first enemy army is very much in trouble. The other two are still going to take a long time to get to us. And their fast movers are joining the first army, but the fragile bats and direwolves probably have little to no chance at doing anything of real consequence here. I was going to put a fourth Tomb Bark in this army, but maybe 3 is sufficient. Keep 1 with each pile of chariots, and then 1 with the piles of Tomb Guard. Though admittedly, if we have... It depends on the number of Tomb Guard that we have. We'll see. See what kind of adjustments we want to make to Settra's army. There we go. The enemy army's reinforcements have at last reached the range of our Casket of Souls, which is pretty massive at 500, meaning it's going to be bombarding the enemy army. All the while, our own reinforcements get into position, and the first army melts away as it is pretty much done for. Only a few fast movers from the reinforcements now remain, and they've no hope of doing any real damage. Man, I remember my last, I actually don't remember whether it was the Manfred campaign or the previous Vlad campaign, but the degree to which you can buff the bats and the dogs, especially in Isabella's army, is absolutely insane. They become so strong. It's really nice to see. I really enjoy it when you can, if you build for it between techs and specific traits and, you know, again, building the army for it to make even weak units extremely powerful. Alright, there we go. Khemri and War Sphinx, well, slash Settra, mosey on in and trash maybe a third of the Crypt Ghouls on the charge. Crypt Ghouls very much not to be underestimated. Them and horrors, I really do love to spam those in the Vampire Count's armies. But anyway, big old bomb drop from the Flock of Joff, getting, considering they haven't participated yet, 27,000 damage effectively with a single volley. Pretty darn good. They only have one use, but it was a heck of a use. Tomb Guard and the Skeleton Warriors have now arrived. The Tomb Bark moving through the enemy blobs to apply those Kepra beetles to as many enemies as possible, and start a little bit of that trickle damage from the little mini Mortis Engine effect that they have. Now it's a skeleton on skeleton action with two great color schemes, I gotta say. I like both theirs and ours. And I gotta say, from a cinematic perspective, the Tomb Barks really do add something to these armies. I really like how they float over the battlefield, but it's just nice. Plus, I really do like support units, and I try to put them in armies, generally speaking, for those factions that have them, and the Tomb Kings really needed some. Anyway, a nice little volley from the Casket of Souls that we do have to be careful, as obviously it will kill off a lot of our own units. Though, on the other hand, it might get us a little bit closer to that, Realm of Souls. Here comes a big old charge from all of the chariots into the back line of those masses of spears or skeletons and Graveguard, and it looks like the charges from the chariots across the entire battle line will clinch the battle for us. Just going to have to wait out the clock as the last of the enemy melt away, but this big old pile of Vampire Counts has been returned to the grave. Oh, there's a Necro running around out there, though he won't be running around too long as he gets crushed under the wheels of the King's chariots. Beautiful. And a really nice fight. Gotta appreciate when we can fight masses of infantry like this. Really plays into the hands of the early game Tomb Kings, as that's what chariots like to eat for breakfast. Fantastic. Alrighty, there we go. Big ol' fight, and certainly a big ol' pile of kills for... Oh, wow, you Skeleton Chariot, the fourth melee one, 50,000 damage. Wow, vastly outdoing all the others. You will be named shortly. 63,000 damage in the Casket of Souls, unsurprising considering the massive blob of enemies. And I tried sending in all those skeleton spears, guys. I was hoping that enough of them would die to get us that Realm of Souls, but no dice, as it didn't happen. Anyway, solid damage out of the Tomb Guard as well, led by the Kepra Guard, at least in terms mostly of kills, and then Settra with 41,000 damage. Solid work as well. Closing in on that rank 18 and that Chariot of the Gods, because you always need more Chariot. Now, Endless March, because we need the cash. Every little bit will count at this point. You're going to back off, but not for long, I'd wager, as long as Settra can actually reach the place. Let's see. In regular stance, he can indeed. So you're going to head to the buried Colossus of Geheb. What's the... Oh, and we've decorruptified the territory already. Oh, well, you can't reinforce, unfortunately, but it's all good. Dragon Helm, a Skeleton Chariot for Bofra. Who is Bofra? You're the Necrotect, who I was actually going to replace with a different Necrotect in this army, but I guess you could go on the Chariot for now. Help by applying Overwhelm to enemies. It might be actually a solid idea to use that with the other Chariots. If they run into something nasty, the Overwhelm can help protect them by a fair margin, I'd wager. Just comparing the stats here between the ranged chariots and the melee chariots. Honestly, they're not all that different anymore. Although obviously the ranged chariots are significantly less healthy. But anyway, you, Settra, go for the Buried Colossus of Geheb, and this time auto-resolve it. Ouch. Huh, interesting. The melee chariots all died together with the Tomb Guard, but not the ranged chariots. Go figure. I guess the game does treat them as ranged units. Occupy. Enemy killed in battle, province secured, land of the dead, and I note that the faction was not destroyed, meaning I guess we were correct, and there is another army of theirs running around out there somewhere. 0 settlements to your name now. So where could you be? They're still at war with Qatar, so there's a decent likelihood that that's that. They would be... only 3k. I was thinking if they were willing to give us a ton of money with no settlements, I'd be willing, but alas, not the case. Yeah, you guys are going to need to switch to healing stances, but for now, you really need to get the Restless Dead. I really find it bizarre that for the Lich High Priests, the passive is after all of this. I don't know why they decided to do that. It's quite strange. Now, there is also Arcane Conduit and 5th Gen Priest. It is 8 research. Maybe we'll go for that first. Let's go for the magical reserves, and then Settra, you have leveled, and now that you have your unique line, I mean, I guess we should still have a return to madness, in madness rather. 10% physical resistance is going to be helpful when you're on that chariot, and frankly, the HP and the missile resistance and whatnot will as well. We should also probably remove wound from you at some time, but we also will want to start moving through the actual buffs of our units someday as well. You, little fella, I'm gonna say, I mean, I guess we're still proceeding to Air Command Dominance, so Air Command Dominance it is. You have Canopic Jar Hoarder maxed out now. You, Necrotect, increase mobility. No, you want Canopic Jar Hoarder as well, I lied. And, you leveled up twice. Increase mobility, I guess? Ooh, wait. Post-battle loot faction wide from the Disciple of Walat, but that's not bad. And armor-piercing weapon damage for Carrion. Oh, right. No, we have to choose between that and the Tomb Scorpion thing. Now, speed for Scorpions is really strong. I didn't realize this gave us post-battle loot, though. Throughout the game, this is going to be quite nice. You know what? I'm going to have to think about this. It really depends on how many necrotechs we end up getting. Ooh, we can also... You know what? Let's go Inscription of Repair, frankly. I'd like to get additional Shabti capacity ASAP, in fact. More important than anything else. Because we're going to get more Shabti probably this episode. Anyway, you are still heading towards Air Command, and we are going to go for... I don't know, we're probably never going to be under siege, so none of this really matters. I don't really know why they made Tomb Princes such meh heroes. I don't particularly find them useful. They're too defensive-minded, and it's just generally not a useful trait set. But anyway, King Wakaf, you need Tomb Guard, and you need to swap some units around. You can't reach this place anyway, so we may as well. You... Okay, wait, you know what we'll do? We'll go into ambush stance here. I don't think they're going to try to go for Hakor, but who knows. Hakor, you can go into, I guess, regular stance? Like so. We need to proceed to Amsu's charge anyway. And then go here. Both of your armies need adjustment, but, you know, we'll get there. You want to trade the Nehekar Horsemen for one of the Skeleton Archers at least. And these 2 Skeleton Chariots will become ranged chariots, and then these 3 Skeleton Archers are... Shabti, right? Wait, no. Ushabti are going to be in this army. Okay, well then you don't need these. I'd rather just give you the rest of the Skeleton Horse Archers. Is that too many Skeleton Horse Archers? Maybe. But it'll work for our purposes for now until we trade them off or send them to another army or whatever. Alright, and then frankly the Skeleton Horseman is also not useful here, but until we make the adjustments that are needed here, there's not much we can do. Alright, Peshadu, you are generating... You're supposed to be generating Canopic Jars for us. Oh right, there wasn't another wise guy, was there? Last time I checked. Oh, there is now. Alright, let's get you then. Temporarily, at least. Disband you. We will go here. We will generate another Wise Lich Priest right here. And pop into Canopic Jar Hoarder. We'll pop you into one of these armies just to leech XP, but eventually we'll replace you... most likely with... I mean, we could just keep these guys. But on the other hand, buffing up the lords is quite nice, but in the early game, they're very, very useful. I just want to see, how far do we have to travel to get to this? No. Disciple of Assyrian, yes, summons a larger unit of skeleton warriors. This is what we need in every army so that we can actually activate the Realm of Souls. So definitely got to get these guys on field in numbers fast as we can. Prince Psalmtic, just keep staying there and providing public order. How much is it, incidentally? Oh, you're at -1. Alright, so just go there for one more turn. It'll be good shortly, I'm sure. Anyway, we got a little bit of cash that we got to spend before going to the next turn now. Several things that we wanted. First of all, yes, statuary of Khemri. We need the Ushabti. We will also want to grab a, I guess at least temporarily, an obelisk here. We could upgrade the Faded Pyramidion or the Restored Tomb. But we probably want to get these things to tier 2 as fast as possible. So let's do that. And ooh, definitely the refurbished workshop and making that money. What else do we got in the other territories? Any green yes. So we'll upgrade the Grand Ossuary. We'll upgrade the Mortiferous Sanctuary. We'll at least temporarily get the Charnel Plaza. You should be upgraded to tier 3, and that's all the money we have. Alright, good for now. Skip commandment. We have... Oh, I didn't realize we took this entire settlement, but I'm glad to see that we got a bunch of obelisks here. That'll be nice. You can just build another obelisk. Growth will be next. Worship of construction reduction, please. And I do wonder where their army is. What do we have here? So you're in Kotari Desert and the Oasis of Blood. We could knock out these ogres real quick before turning on you. And if we should destroy or subjugate the little pile of Tomb Kings here. Oh, actually, it would completely depend on if we have any landmarks there, because we can't let the AI have any landmarks. Yeah, might not be a good reason to subjugate them here then. But we'll see. Anyway, for now, end turn. Alright, no new presence from that enemy army as yet, but that's fine. Settra, you're gonna march down to Terracotta Wall, but you will need to heal up, so let's pop you into Great Dynasty's stance and then head down here. And you can follow along as you always do, Mr. Panet. Alright, lovely. Hopefully we can reach this in one bound. This is ogres, so... Ooh, hello. They've got a... we've got man-eaters with ogre pistols. Oh, that's gonna be devastating against the chariots. And frankly against lots of stuff. The ogre pistols are really, really strong. Anyway, Tutmos, you are... Okay, you're not even trying to get non-Egyptian, or... just literally an Egyptian name, but anyway. You... Who wants to attack this? Hello, we got an army here. Can either... Okay, you can stay in ambush if Hakor attacks this. I mean, I guess we could do it the other way around as well, but anyway, let's see what's in Amsu's charge. And we've got a pure... Oh my, that's pretty good. We have... Oh, it's a walled settlement. I didn't even know that. I wonder if they both try to attack us like this. I'm really interested to find out. I will... there's also the chance that these guys get ambushed, but frankly, I'm not sure that that would work well, even if they did. Let's pop you into Sandvale to get the ambush defense chance. Right there. I wonder if this guy can reach us. I think he can't. He'll have to jump as an underway stance. I don't think that'll work for him. Anyway. We will not auto-resolve this. It does... Oh, did that the wrong way. Build the towers. You have no defensive structure, so we are free to fight you. And we can knock holes in the walls, but I'm kind of invested in Alchemist Spark jumping here. If both of them want to strike us at once, I'd be pretty happy with that, I gotta say. And they've got a really nice stack there, so we'll wait. Otherwise, we are looking pretty okay. Let's get a little bit more in the way of money-making buildings if we can, like here at the Great Pyramid of Settra. Oh, actually, we'll want the Pyramidion here now, won't we? Yeah, alright. Go for the Faded Pyramidion, and we'll wait on the Stone Workshop, whatever. We can pop in the Charnel Plaza temporarily. We'll delete it later, but for now, every single building that makes us money will be quite valuable. Money. Money, and Citadel of Kings, yes to the obelisk. We are waiting for one turn for the Ushabti, and ooh, we just slightly ran out of money for the Mastaba, didn't we? If we cancel you, not enough. Alright, well, then I guess I'm gonna ignore that and instead build up the Pyramidion. As somebody was willing to give us something. Dune Sali, Black Ma wants peace. That's not gonna happen, at least. No. Necroc Brotherhood. Did you get more cash? Well, they're willing to give us 5k now. It's not bad. They won't be able to destroy themselves attacking us. I really wonder where their other army is. Yeah, you know what? I will take the 5.4k, and if they raid us, we'll just kill them. It'll work. I'm sure. You know what? I think I'm actually going to use Tutmos not to level with these guys. I'm going to send him northward. We want to make an alliance with a few factions, like elves, mostly for the Lothran Skycutters. But there's, well, monsters as well. Phoenixes would work well. Yeah, there's a decent number of things that we could work with. Mausoleum. I was hoping to upgrade the restored tomb there, but oh well. You will give us access to Necropolis Knights, but it's 2.2k, and I think we're free to wait the 2 turns or so. And just because we can make more money. Oh, let's do that. So build, and then yeah, go for the Mastaba here, and then upgrade the Sepulchre, and oh, Canal of Abundance, right. Well, let's build the Salt Mine, and that's pretty much it. Also, Canal of Abundance now. Land of the Dead, here we can start collecting cash. Beautiful. Canal of Abundance, -5 known dice. Are we just gonna need to... Now, we'll need to keep you in Worship of Asaph once we've done... built everything here. Alright, nearly there. Skip, 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 and then turn. Research A Technologies. Hello, Talisman of Preservation and Helm of Discord. Both are rather nice pickups. And I saw a quest there. Wait, yes, I see the tech. What is this? Orc Purge. Be at war with the Leafcutters tribe. Ooh, I wonder if that means that they're banking on making war upon us soon. Interesting. Well, I gotta make sure that we get that quest reward, Talisman, Helm, and another Banner of Hidden Dead, or was that an earlier one? Golden Death Mask of Karnat, which we got the 6,000 income. That's why. Good for that, too. Alright, that's it. Now, we've got techs to look through. We could increase, we don't really need these capacities right now. And we're done with these techs. I guess we can start moving through Wisdom of the Second Dynasty, though I'm almost tempted to grab a second Necrotect. Because the army with the speedy Nehekaran warriors are going to need him. On the other hand, let's at least start moving through this, and then we can always swap, whatever as needed. Now, you guys are at war with Qatar, which unfortunately is not near us, so Settra. I wonder if we should split you guys off just briefly, because I think we'll need someone here. Oh, also, where did that rat army go? I swear I saw it on the map that it went down here somewhere, and it might still be attempting to do that. Oh, you can leech at least for 1 turn, though. From this army? You don't have 19... whatever, alright, fine. You can just go in this army, leech for the turn, and then keep moving north and acting as a scout. We could also use the Tomb Prince for that, but again, the Public Order is still quite nice. You're maxed out now, you're maxed out. Where is the Public Order still needed? You... Alright, let's move up to our main territory then. You're in -1 still, okay. Well, I guess... Alright, we can't build the obelisk here, can we? And because we need to potentially build a defensive structure, which funnily enough offers us a control +1, but I don't want to lose the money as of yet. Anyway, this is going to be a big fight, so I think we'll do this right now, as in do it first. We'll see about the other stuff later. I'm going to go up those walls with the Hawk Legion. Go. Alrighty, as one indeed. Here we go. The enemy's got a pretty solid rat army arrayed against us, so well, we're gonna have to be a little bit careful here. Anyway, our siege towers move towards the enemy, looking pretty good, and again, showing off that lovely color scheme of ours. I do feel like maybe these things should be a little bit more stone and a little bit more gold than they are. They're a little bit too wood heavy, in my opinion. I just figured a faction that can muster up enough of that stone to make all those constructs, including gigantic constructs. A little bit surprising that the towers are straight up wood, but at the same time, I suppose the wood would be considerably lighter than the stone. But I mean, they can make mobile stone, so why not? And also, these serpents should maybe have like the sepulchral stalker blasts on them attacking. Maybe a Hyro Titan laser eyes coming out of this guy. I always talk about how I'd love for the siege towers and the siege engines in general to be a little bit more interesting. Anyway, I digress. Here we go, moving towards the enemy settlement. The Usurians, Legion of the Netherworld, are going to use their massive physical resistance to push the ram, while all of the Hawk Legion of Settra units are up on top of the walls. They're up to 50 move speed now, which is pretty darn solid, significantly faster than Storm Vermin, for example, and it's only begun, as we will be getting them moving faster and faster. Can't wait to see what this army looks like in its final form. Otherwise, we've nearly reached the walls, taking a little bit of damage on some of our units, though we will be in range of the enemy Plague Claw catapults shortly, and we'll start taking bigger hits. Might need to engage in a little bit of a Screaming Skull catapult and Plague Claw catapult shootout. And there we go, the first projectiles will land among the towers. Let's just speed it up a little bit while we can get closer to the walls. Also, there we go, while we're approaching the walls, before I forget, and I know some of you hate to hear the phrase, but we do have the engagement threshold, that thing that we do on the channel, so just a reminder, or to those who are unfamiliar, basically the engagement determines the length of episodes and the, generally speaking, length of the campaign, because, I mean, you vote with your interest as to when we move on to something new, and for how long you want to watch the episodes, etc, etc, etc. Basically, this episode gets 500 likes and 70 comments. The next episode will be of a similar length, and I will be keeping an eye on that for the campaign length, generally speaking, as well. I mean, we do run the gamut in terms of how long our campaigns can run, generally speaking, on the channel. Thorgrim's campaign went to 60 episodes. Some of the older campaigns have gone to 100, whereas some of the shorter campaigns have gone from 15 to 20, so it really depends. It really does. But anyway, I digress. I'll shut up about that now, for YouTube works that way and all that. But anyway, we have reached the walls, and the towers have disgorged their cargo of Hawk Legion of Settra, starting to cut down the Storm Vermin and Clan Rats up above, but getting hit with an Earthquake or a Warp Quake, as well as Seismic Snare from the Warp Grinders below, which seem to activate it despite the fact that they're on the ground below and we're up on the walls. Though I guess if you get a Warp Quake going and the walls start shaking, just like the ground, it does make sense. Anyway, does interestingly look like the enemy has sallied out a decent number of troops instead of allowing us to break through the gate. Our ram, pushed by the Usurians Legion, has broken the wall, or the gate, but the Storm Vermin and Night Runners and other units are blocking off our actual infantry from taking too much of an advantage of it. That said, the first of our units of Hawk Legion of Settra, our Settra's Hawk Legion, it is Hawk Legion of Settra, have dropped down from the walls and are beginning to cut down whatever rats they can reach. Here, first and foremost, the critical targets of the enemy weapons teams and warp grinders, and don't want them popping off that Seismic Snare and Warp Quake combination again. Going to be a little bit of a fight between the Hawk Legion and the Storm Vermin up here. I can't quite tell. Do they have black armor as well here? I wanted to take a look at the enemy color scheme here. Something dark. Kind of hard to see on the Skaven maps, generally speaking, because they're pretty dark. And I still hate that net effect. That's always the case. And what can you do? All we can do is kill off all the rats and thereby make that effect disappear. Anyway, the balance of power has shifted to about 85% in our favor. We're doing pretty good and have moved our Screaming Skull catapults close enough by the looks of it to start firing on the enemy Plague Claws. You may be wondering where our fast movers are, and we have chariots and several units of Nehekar horsemen who have been working on the gates for a little while now and are looking to break through them and start heading towards the other enemies. Otherwise, the Skaven may usually have the numbers, but the Tomb Kings do have the advantage of free armies and thus can often call upon the numbers themselves. So we're going to mob the walls, we're going to mob the gate, and we're going to run over those rats. And the Sepulchral Stalkers have broken the stalemate outside of the gate, simply using their mass to push through the Storm Vermin, Night Runners, and Clan Rats that were preventing us from entering the settlement. Sepulchral Stalkers are hybrid units, anti-large halberds perhaps, but they can still do plenty of work against enemy infantry. Fast-moving, stalking, charging. I love those units. There we go, and causing plenty of formation disruption to the rat hordes as well, and forcing those that were fighting the Hawk Legions to rout, with the exception of the Plague Monks, who have nearly been destroyed instead. I do believe there's another unit of Plague Monks down here surrounding the enemy lord, who is currently locked in a duel with King Wakaf of the First Dynasty. I do love his twin blades. He's the only Tomb King with twin blades, right? I think he is. And that we have access to. The regular ones, I'm pretty sure, have a shield, a sword and board. Gotta double check. Or do they have a halberd? I guess it doesn't really matter. Well, Settra has a halberd, so maybe they do have shield, shield and halberd. Either way, I like this guy, is what I'm getting at. It would be nice that he would have had a mount, but again, like I said last episode, it isn't too bad that we have him on foot. Anyway, the Sepulchral Stalkers have arrived to help him out, not to go after the enemy warlord, who I'm sure he could defeat, but to go after those Plague Monks, which were interfering with the duel. Anyway, very much a hectic battlefield, and I'm sure well, with the exception of the Plague Monks, the rats are terrified of the snakes. And are having a bad time getting lifted up on those halberds. There we go, beautiful, lovely slam, and it looks like with that most of the enemy units at the breach have been cleared, and on top of that, the other gates have been breached by our Nehekara horsemen, who are booking it towards the remnants of those Plague Claw catapults, who are down by about half of their HP, thanks to our Plague Claw catapults having reached the range to fire back at them. A little bit short on the range, and probably not as effective at dealing with those as a Casket of Souls would be, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, the Nehekara horsemen have arrived. Out of curiosity, what have we got in terms of their stats? 37 and 42, not too bad. Speed is at 83, huh? You know, it's funny, I was gonna keep the Nehekara horsemen in this army, but with all of the speed that we will eventually have on the infantry in this army, they might actually start moving, if not quite at the same level, at the same speed as the Nehekara horsemen, close enough that it might not, it might not be necessary to have these guys in here. I gotta think about it. Maybe we could just do all Nehekara warrior, throw a few Ushabti in, and we'll be good, and put the Nehekara horsemen in a different army composition. I gotta double check whether Tomb Lords, or Tomb Kings rather, can get any of the Ptra worship, specific god worship that buffs Nehekara horsemen. We know that there isn't one, I believe, that buffs the Nehekara warriors, which is why we have them being commanded by a Lich High Priest rather than a Tomb King. Anyway, the rats are done, the battle is ours, the settlement falls, and while I'm sure we took some casualties, considering the reasonably elite enemy garrison, I think we did pretty darn well. Alright, there we go. A really nice fight against pretty significantly more elite units, at the very least significantly more expensive units than ours at that garrison. And, wait, was this a capital settlement? I didn't even... Well, I guess we're about to fight. Yeah, it must have been, because it didn't have walls, but it had a good garrison, so yes. Alright, and we will occupy it then at tier 3? Is that what you're... Yes, yes, and we got a new Shabti building here. Oh, game. And this is doing it for me. You can, I guess, start collecting the income. Are you able to... Oh, I was about to say, are you able to construct 2 Shabti? It'll take you 2 turns. You know what? Let's do... Huh. We just build 3? You know what? We can always transfer them if there's one extra. Delete the archers. Stay here and build the... Oh, you can only build 2 of these. Do we want a new Shabti with a great bow in this army? I might as well build one. Oh, I just realized what we do need. Well, I guess we can replace the skeleton horses. We need the Great Incantation of Tahoth up and running pretty much immediately to get the Casket of Souls I forgot about it, and then, yeah, I should have done it last episode, and then that's what I get. Oh well. Cultist of Assyrian, good. King Wakov, now that we're not quite done here, at the very least taking this territory, you need to intercept that other army, which I'm pretty sure is moving down here somewhere. I saw it on the map, I saw the little red flag. Ah, there it is. Okay, there's no way that you can reach us. You might be going to the Temple of the Sun, but hopefully we can intercept you. Oh, funnily enough, the presence of the Ushabti building there, it's not as critical here anymore. What is critical is more money buildings. So let's keep on building and upgrading those until we're ready to delete them. Which is going to be a bit. And, ooh, you can have the refurbish... Oh. Undead quarryman ancient stonework, but alas, not yet. Alright, fine. And just need more cash money, and we'll be good. Panat. Oh, right, I was going to... So, assuming that Settra proceeds here... Okay, wait. Panat, I would like you to trade with Settra the... Okay, take Settra's ranged chariots, he has the melee chariots, and then give him 3 skeleton spears, which are supposed to be replaced by Tomb Guard in Settra's army. I don't know if 7 Tomb Guard might be a little bit much, but again, I love the ability to actually sometimes, occasionally, activate the Realm of Souls. Please, game. You then are going to actually proceed this way towards Sejet Temple. Maybe sit briefly in the buried Colossus of Geheb. And you, Prince Psamtik, I was going to send you to scout out over here. We're just going to separate real quick, because Settra can bounce through the Ogre territory and then through the Palace of Duskat. I don't know if we want to go all the way up to Qatari Desert, but Upper Ash River is also owned by these guys. They have a fair bit of territory, and we don't know where they'll attack. I'm also a little bit worried that they just cross over the river and then go to the Immortus Road, which ain't so great either. Which again, hence the need for the scouts. Yeah, I think you're going to have to move this way in order to act as a scout instead of providing public order. Are you able to leave this army now? Do we want this army to be the one that has the... Well, you know what? Yeah, you're probably going to have a decent amount of artillery with this. Maybe instead of you, you'll be replaced by a second Screaming Skull Catapult. You can have the 1 Casket of Souls. Yeah, alright. And then at least 2 Ushabti. This isn't an Ushabti-centric army, but it is going to be in need of a Necrotect and a Mage, and... Ah, wait. If we remove you, we'll be at 19. 18 with a minus... Oh, yeah, so you're going to be a Mage. Yeah, alright. So Necrotect, everything will be fine. You just need a capacity for other stuff. Oh! We got an interesting Necrotect here with Toxic Venom. That might actually be quite good on a chariot. Well, maybe not in Settra's arm. Well, actually, maybe in Settra's arm. I'll think about it. There's a lot of potential. Settra, speaking of, you can't reach the ogres yet. Alright, you're just going to have to move there next turn, so we won't declare war on them now. We have no money remaining, and that means we can end another turn. Let's level these guys up just in case, though. Do you need Root Marcher right now? It's kind of a weird army, but anyway, it's not in its final form, obviously. Oh, you do have a unique... Oh, right, I did check this earlier. Okay, I got... I had forgotten. At least you get a speed upgrade, that'll be nice, because you're going to be real slow running around on foot otherwise. Let's get your Root Marcher for now. You'll still probably want Sunscorched Bones, because we'll use Tomb Guard in this army. But anyway, end turn. Alright, creator, construction cost, great, and the Nemesis Crown and the Empire somewhere, not to worry, we'll subjugate you shortly. Alright, so this guy has moved here towards the Temple of the Sun, issue being that if we attack him, he'll move away and then hit the Temple of the Sun instead. And we could head directly for it, but then he'll just start raiding. Ambush won't get us close enough to it, unfortunately. Neither will Entomb Beneath the Sands by the looks of it. Yeah. Alright, so I guess we have no choice but to sit outside it. He might attempt to ambush us in theory. I suppose if we were to close the distance with the Skeleton Horse Archers, that wouldn't be great. You know what, head into the Temple of the Sun itself. You can keep recruiting for the turn to get some Ushabti up and running, and oh right, I wanted to get you the Canopic Jar Hoarder, like so. Lovely. Alright, and then you will go this way. We need you to act as a scout. I was going to send you up to the elves, but right now it's more critical that we see what the heck those guys are doing. As in Manny. And then you're fine as you are, but let's briefly at least build the obelisk so that the place can be decent in terms of public order. The defenses are not great, but we should be able to handle a basic rat army if it comes down to it. Ain't no way you can even come close to harming Khemri. Great obelisk, though, is in a little bit more of a dangerous position. Alright, Settra. And alright, Somtek, let's move you, as I was saying, this way. Oh, let's upgrade that Canal of Abundance. I almost forgot about you. Do that. We got 4 turns. You can switch, I guess, to the Worship of Asaph for now, and then... Can you collect income? Oh, it's not worth it. Although, the public order here doesn't matter much, does it, at the same time? So we could collect a little bit of extra money, and then eventually the Worship of Asaph will outdo it anyway. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Alright, Annette, are you able to recruit anything interesting here? No. You're just gonna have to work with what you've got for now, so I would like you to proceed close to Manfred's territory. You're gonna start raiding it while you move towards Sejet Temple, and okay, let's build you one more spear, I guess. Like so. Settra, you're gonna go for these guys. We still can't see Qatar, unfortunately, but oh well. Let's head to Terracotta Wall, declare war on these guys. Can't have them squatting in the pyramids here. This, I think we have no choice but to fight. It will be an Ogre camp, which is going to be kind of annoying, but I'm assuming that our units can overcome it. Let's just see if there's anything else to do. Well, I guess we'll just fight it then, because while there is money that needs to be spent, we don't know exactly where we'll be spending it as of yet. And also we'll get more money from the fight. Actually, you know what? I wanted to get this restored tomb up and running, because it does cost the... it does cost the population surplus. Ooh, next turn until the Great Pyramid of Settra. Yes, I've really been needing that. And here, we could build at least one Tomb Scorpion. I wanted at least some Tomb Scorpions in the Desert Army, although it's not really that needed. Let me just see here. You have the Spectral Stalkers. You'll probably keep 4 to 6 of the... Yeah, probably 4 of the Skeleton Horse Archers, maybe a couple Skeleton Chariots with bows, and then Tomb Guard, and maybe a Scorpion. I can always delete the building later if we wanted to. Just to get at least one on the field so we can watch those glorious Scorpion animations. Yeah, go for it. Why not? Alright, works for me. Even though we could make more money by building more green buildings, but shut up. Anyway, looking like we're fighting then. Settra, go for Terracotta Wall. Alright, here we go. Settra booking it on forth to reclaim this Tomb King settlement, and of course to level up to get that Chariot of the Gods. Just about there. Anyway, gonna fight some ogres, which is something of a novelty in this particular campaign. Certainly not something we've done, being busy fighting everybody else. But the variety is nice. We've already fought the vamps and the rats this episode. Why not fight some ogres? And oh wow. About 30% damage to one unit of skeleton warriors from a single volley from that shooting tower. Well, that's not great for us. We're just going to have to deal with it or maybe knock it down. But in the meantime, Settra has closed the distance with a Hobgoblin mercenary unit, taken about half of their HP, popped off his use of the explosion ability, the Wrath of Tra, and is now going to weather the storm of the enemy lead belchers as he heads directly towards them. Critical units to annihilate. Probably, might actually be a little bit less threatening than the Ogre pistols to Settra in particular, but still a very threatening unit to everybody else. Fortunately, we can lock them down, and they are terrible in melee, and we'll be able to do a little. Here, the enemy unit of Hobgoblin mercenaries and the Hobgoblin mercenaries with bows have all booked it on out of there, while we head directly towards any enemy capture points. It seems it's rather slow to knock down those enemy towers, which are already doing decent damage to us all across the board, and thus it's going to be easier to just capture the settlements instead. Since we sent Settra to the other side, we've got the War Sphinx on this side to help out against the ogres, but it does look like the Iron Fists are holding pretty well. Good for them. What's their HP at? Just out of curiosity. Nearly 20k, damn, alright. Well, they are vulnerable, really vulnerable to missile fire, but it does make sense with the amount of HP that they have here. It's going to take a little bit to deal with them. Alright, well, that's going to take some time. On the bright side, though, it looks like the lead belchers are out and the first of the capture points has been taken. This one having destroyed this tower and this tower as well. We've also taken essentially position, getting close to the enemy key building, but more or less just blocking the enemy off and preparing to move on into the center of the enemy settlement once we're ready. Still giving a little bit of a chase to the hobgoblin mercs and the fragile elements of the enemy army, the non-ogreish elements, I guess. And wouldn't you know it, there's a little unit of Noblar trappers out here on this platform. I don't think you're going to take too much advantage of it, especially very nice. The chariot bowls them over the platform. A little bit unfortunate that they survived the fall, but still pretty neat. And yeah, getting the chariot up there is pretty neat as well. Alright, well, these are heroes after all, so they should be okay, and the Overwhelm will help significantly, lowering these guys' weapon strength to a mere 10, and making them all but useless here. Alright, looks like our Tomb Bark's gonna get attacked by some Ogre Bulls, but we'll bail it out by moving Tomb Guard and Skeleton Warriors in. Settra has defeated the units of Lead Belchers and has now moved to that most critical unit of Ogre Man Pistols, as I like to call them. Man-eaters with Ogre Pistols. I remember when I played Aranessa, and I always bring this up, but when I played Aranessa, who, you know, likes the Ogre Man Pistols a fair bit, and just sniping every single entity with just a couple volleys with these guys, they are so nasty against big units like War Sphinxes. So we do have to be careful. Plus, they're fast enough with those pistols of theirs. We can see 69 move speed. And they've got fire while smoothing, so essentially you can use them like light cav and just kill off any enemy single entities, heroes, lords, cavalry, and all that. Not very good against enemy infantry, but they're very solid in melee as well, being a hybrid unit, and thus you could just send them into the fray in melee once you're done sniping. Fantastic unit. Anyway, fantastic, but perhaps not enough to deal with Settra, and the same probably goes for all the ogres on the battlefield. The Kepra's Guard has arrived to lead the Skeleton Spears, who, admittedly, with their anti-large, will be a little bit helpful here. And now it's just a matter of time as we tie up all the remaining Ogre units and, well, by the looks of it, kill off the Fire Belly, or at the very least force him to rout. There is still an enemy Hunter, who has been checking those harpoons, etc. And Hunters can do a fairly decent missile damage, so we do have to be still careful. And thus it's better to take him out in melee. Settra will move directly towards him and knocking him down to the sand below. Funnily enough, there isn't really anything that we were able to do against the Nobbler Scrap Launcher because the Casket of Souls is not sort of adept at taking this thing out. Although we will eventually take the Casket of Souls out of this particular army, as I don't think it's going to need it. Now, the problem with the Casket of Souls is that essentially you want to use those things where your army isn't super mobile, because you're essentially needing to protect them always. They're extremely fragile, and the loss of even a single one is too major. But I digress. We won't be losing one today as the ogres get overrun and destroyed. Lovely. Alright, there we go. Nice little fight. Mostly damage to the Skeleton Spears, which is exactly what we wanted. Not enough to activate the Realm of Souls, but the battle was enough to level us up to level 18, which means the Chariot of the Gods is now ours. I'm kind of tempted to sack it, but I'm not sure that we have... The money is probably more valuable to us than... You know what? Sack it. I'm gonna hope that we can... sack it. I know we could take it instead of tier 2, but yeah, there's the Chariot of the Gods. But... Occupy. And we do still get the... we do still get the canopic jars. We do have pottery here, which gives us nothing interesting, but anyway. I repair this 473. You know what? It wasn't worth it. I just wanted to test it, and it's not worth it because... we got 2,000 gold. It cost us 500 to repair, and then 1,300 to build back the tier 2 we would have gotten without sacking it, meaning, and then it lost buildings as well, meaning, yeah, it's not worth it. best to just occupy instead of sacking. Anyway, build the obelisk here. And then here at the Sepulchre of Heavens, what we might do is occupy it, then trade it to these guys, take it from them again, and ooh, just as he's gotten himself into a war with the Poxmakers. Oh, that works quite nicely for me. Just want to double check who owns this, but if I could just see what's going on over here. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to wait. Alright, but now we got a little bit of cash for our trouble. Let's see what we can build up. May as well keep pumping up the crumbling temple here, and thus the undead quarrymen. Frankly, we need the crumbling temple everywhere, so may as well. City of Kings, upgrade this. Regnant Catacombs, anything that goes up to level 2 for a little bit more cash like you. And, oh, actually, no, we're better off building the Buried Colossus. Alright, there we go. That looks good. That's all the money we got. We got Mortuary Cult. What do we need for the next army? 35k. Okay, that's a little bit much. Meaning we're free to spend on heroes, should we need to. Right now we can only get Necrotects, but that's not the worst thing in the world either. I might pop off a few Necrotects. Where can we get spices? Don't tell me it's Xandra. Oh, you're far. Oh, I don't like that. Huh. What about, what do we need for Lich Priests? The Tomb Princes are the ones I care about the least. Oh, the Lich Priests are the ones with spices. You have Obsidian, which is also kind of far, and in the Badlands and the Barrier Idols. Well, in the East Barrier Idols specifically. But anyway, skip, 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 and turn. Alright, hello, what do we have here? The cities of Nehekara are without compare in their scale and grandeur. However, time ravages stone just the same as flesh, and now our buildings are badly in need of restoration. Upon which of them should we focus our endeavors? Construction costs for advanced military versus construction costs for infrastructure. Infrastructure is actually really cheap compared to advanced military, so I'm going to say rebuild our armies. This will be a good opportunity to build up a couple of these things. A ruined War Sphinx War Shrine or a Necro Sphinx War Shrine, damaged Hyro Titan statue. There's good stuff here. First Bone Giant is also an option. I will think about it. For now, we got other things to do. Now, you could proceed to move towards Flesh, but I'm willing to bet that he'll run. And not only that, he could probably get around that, around us then and go to the Temple of the Sun. So we're going to push a little bit closer to him, pop into ambush here. You, Hakor, have completed your recruitment, and we know that he can't reach Amsu's charge, so we're going to pop you into ambush as well, and head over here. It worked once before. One of these guys will most likely fail in their ambush, but assuming that the other doesn't, then we should be able to catch this guy. Unless he just runs. I shouldn't have jinxed it, should I have? No, whatever. Well, at least we got our Shabti on the field. You are which army again? Okay, so you're the Nehekara Warriors, and we do want that Canopic Jar Hoarder, but since we're so based on the Nehekara Warriors here, which are pretty darn fragile, we gotta, max them out as best we can first. Then, we've got the temple completed, meaning... What do we have Necrotect-wise? Oh, we no longer have the Necrotect I wanted specifically for this army. A Lich Priest capacity is up and running again. We do need Lich Priests in Hakor's army, in Wakoff's army, because he doesn't have one, so we'll prioritize that. And we gotta go with... does he have Frenzy automatically, out of curiosity? He does not. And unlike Settra, he can actually pick up a healing item. I guess we could just give him the Frenzy, unless some of this... Wait, I saw Frenzy somewhere, did I not? Let me just see here. Canopic Jars, Eternal Flame, Strength of the whatever... No Frenzy. Alright, fine, Frenzy it is then. I'd grab another Wise Guy, but we don't have one of the Nehekara variety, and we need all the heals we can get, so Advisor it is. Alright, now you will start with the Canopic Jar Hoarder, and then we'll get some casting available for you afterwards. Alright, that looks good. Now, where are our scouts? You need to go here, see what's going on. You, Prince Psamtik, need to go to the edge of this territory to see what's going on. Need to see if Manfred's army is, nearby, because it'll be annoying if it is. And what is... Oh, that's our guy. Never mind. Shut up. Anyway, Settra's on his chariot now, which is great. Oh, well, we could give him a casting item, but we don't really have one, do we? I need useful items here. Dragonhelm sucks. Potion of Farsight's kind of terrible. Helmet Discord is nice, but I think other armies needed more than Settra. Does Settra? You can grab that Talisman of Preservation. Like so. And we got a point available to us. I'm going to say ceremonial bandages. Alright, this also I think means that maybe this guy, the Banner Man, maybe we'll put him on the skeletal steed. I mean, he's supposed to command the Tomb Guard, I know, but we'll need somebody to be able to fight single entities, since the Necrotect's on a chariot, and Prince Nebuthar's on a chariot. At least this way, one of each of them can command 2 chariot units. I guess we could also take the Necrotect off the chariot and use him to hold back single entities. There's potential there as well. Anyway, I'm going to say... Oh, this gives us Sepulchral Stalkers and Necropolis Knight capacity. This gives us both of the Ushabti. Huh. Is this perhaps actually more worth it? Because it gives us +1 of 3 units rather than 2? Maybe. You know what, I'll wait on that since we're not building them right now anyway, but it's certainly something to think about. Anyway, let's level everybody up before we strike. You are going to go Fearless in Death for obvious reasons, and then you are going to go... finally. And generally speaking, I never bother with Air Command Dominance. I always go Air Command Persevere. The thing is, Persevere activates to give you more melee defense if you're losing melee combat, which means making units that are in trouble tankier. Dominance only increases your melee attack by 6 if you're winning already, so you basically win harder if you're already winning versus not losing as hard if you're losing, and I think that's just superior. Plus, melee defense is generally a more valuable stat in the game, and then melee attack is. Anyway, time to test out this chariot. No, actually, this is kind of a minor little pile of enemies, so maybe not in this particular fight, but medium casualties. Really? This is gonna heavily damage us, isn't it? Until we get more Tomb Guard and other stuff in here. You know what, fine, we'll do a quick little run with the Chariot of the Gods, why not? Alright, here we go. Settra on his Chariot of the Gods at last. Probably going to be a quick fight, but we gotta see the big old chariot in action. And you gotta admit with him much closer to the ground below in this manner, it does feel like he participates in the battle on the chariot a lot more than he does in the War Sphinx, where it just feels like it's just the War Sphinx and doing all the work. But anyway, obviously we don't really want to get trapped against the ogres as they're monstrous infantry, so we'll just bypass them with our speed and crash through those poor Noblars. Ooh, and Settra swings away at them with his halberd as well. Fantastic. He doesn't do that when he's on the War Sphinx. Alright, and the chariots will sort of, crossfire, cross-charge those poor Noblars, while Settra peels away and starts heading towards the units of lead belchers. Ooh, but look at Settra's speed drop on the chariot. Why? He's gotten hit with a dismember. Minus 60 speed, minus 30 speed, dropping him down to 26. And if not quite stuck, he's going to take a lot of lead belcher volleys to the face, as he does. Not to worry though, it's a small army, and Settra isn't really threatened by the lead belchers anyway. And we got other chariots to do the work with. And there we go, heading on in and sending more Noblars flying. And taking about 55% of their HP on the chart, which is pretty good. All the enemy ogres in the meantime have been fighting our infantry, who have moved forward. Looks like we're going to get hit with a wind call? Was that a wind call? What was that? What do we have in terms of mages? Who did that? This is a fire belly. It wasn't you. Yeah, Slaughtermaster of the Heavens, so it was a Wind Blast, whatever. Wind Blast. Anyway, the balance power shifted to about 95% in our favor, just a little bit more work to do. Settra got surrounded by ogres, but he just killed them all anyway, chariot or not. Again, he can swing away with his halberd, and he can pop off that Wrath of Tra as needed. Gotta love those glowing wheels. And it looks like the battle is just about ours, just a sliver of bounce power remaining. The last of the enemy Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists, the only unit still in the fight. Oh no, actually there is a enemy Bruiser running around. Probably could have gone after him with Settra, but it looks like he wants to go after other units. All good. Settra's still running down Ogres. Oh, and I like that they're... Huh. There's a little... Wait. There's a little sort of halberd tip type deal on the chart. You'd think that they make this like a little bit longer so it would like ram past where the horses are, but maybe that's just me. Alright, and with that I do believe the battle is done, and Settra carries the day on his chariot. Just to start, I'm sure he'll have plenty more action on it as we keep using that thing. Alright, no problem at all. Settra getting nearly 18k damage. Not too bad considering the relatively low number of enemies. One of the skeleton chariots did beat him, but they were charging through Noblars and other weak garbage, so it does make sense. Settra's still surprisingly strong on the chariot, even sort of fighting single entities and trapped in place, though spending like, I don't know, like a minute with 26 speed there for a bit was a bit unfortunate for him. Oh well, we're gonna occupy the place since, as we saw, it's pointless to do the other thing. I'm just curious, Sepulchre of Heavens here. Wait, is that what it was called? Yes, Sepulchre of Heavens. You would be willing to give us 8,000 gold for it. Beautiful. Alright, so you can sit here for the turn and heal. Next turn we'll transfer Sepulchre of Heavens and then immediately retake it and then move on towards the Palace of Dusk as we declare war on these guys. Another Obsidian Amulet. Nice, and hello. We've reached these guys. Aha. So we do have the Pyramid of King Far here. Battle healing cap minus 10% for Settra the Imperishable. Huh? How dare you? That is so rude. But it gives us Unbreakable for Settra and still gives us hero capacity +1 for all heroes. Melee defense when fighting greenskins. All the other stuff's kind of mad, but it's always worth it to have +1 hero capacity. Though, how dare you lower Settra's healing cap? This is distressing and disturbing. You. Since we have to have this, we have to... How many territories do you have? You have 6. I don't think we have time to move through the entirety of the Charnel Valley for now. It's probably better to knock out Manfred before we do anything else, meaning we could in theory trade with the... Oh, wow. Oh, right, it's kind of worthless to trade with other Tomb Kings, isn't it? Out of curiosity... no, we can't trade with you either. Yeah, it's just the Guardians of the Valley here, and we've no intention of subjugating them. How much money will you offer us to peace out? 8,000 gold, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm willing to give them one more chance to wipe out this army, one more turn, and then I think we'll take the 8k to peace out with them. We've got other things to do, like sending at least one army to deal with the other side of Manfred's territory. And then probably another army or possibly 2 armies to start moving towards the Greenskins. Neither of them like us very much, and eventually they will declare war on us as soon as they stop fighting other factions, essentially. Just out of curiosity. Okay, you're probably not going to declare war on us anytime soon. In fact, you seem to be losing territory rapidly to the Bretonnians, who aren't super fond of us. Well, they'll be less fond. They'll be even less fond eventually. Anyway, Panet, I would like you to pop into raiding stance and start moving through Sajet Temple. Oh, we actually have to be able to reach it in one turn, so I guess you can't actually do that. Alright, go here. You proceed... Yeah, but you proceed this way. I need you to keep an eye on what's going on. You will want to immediately retake the place. Canal of Abundance, you're super fragile, so we don't want you to get attacked, so that makes sense. Otherwise, walk off, you're in ambush stance. Everybody else, I'm happy with your current positions. Do we maybe want to make another Tomb Prince as a scout? Probably better to do that with the Tomb Prince than a Lich Priest, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, why not? Hero Self-Defense Infantryman. Well, actually, we'll make one here because you're a little bit further, closer to the elves and the other potential subjugation targets. Yeah, alright. Infantryman it is. And then obviously you will grab Canopic Jar Hoarder as you move northward. Can also briefly grab... Well, you know what? You might need to defend yourself, so let's go for Assassinate then. And Specialist. Like so. Alright, I'm gonna name you Scout because we'll delete you after you're done your job, like so. Alright, good. Next, we did the oh, no, we're waiting for the Necrotect, the one that we want specifically. And we have no Lich Priests, okay. Building. Since we have now for 10 turns the militia restored, we will want to be able to build at least some of them in some territories. Khemri is the main one. Generally speaking, it's not really worth it to build these all over the place because you're better off just simply building these things, the Eternal Sentinels, which give us a +1 capacity of pretty much everything, meaning we just want to be able to recruit everything. Let's start with the Higher Titan, at least here, and then... Nothing here will give us money except to you, but we can wait on you. Aha, so we should probably get you an obelisk. Oh, wait. Black Tower of Arcan, this is the place which will want a ton of the pyramid. Well, actually, you know what? Let's wait on leveling those up. We'll want the Tomb City first instead. So, for now, we'll go for the obelisks, and then we'll change that up later. I think that's the best use of our time. Land of the Dead, you can build a sepulcher and also the lumber camp. Keep upgrading the Regnant Catacombs. Black Pyramid of Nagash, you're fine. 4 turns until you're up and running, in fact. Amsu's Charge, we'll build these for additional cash. Oh, you're a little bit expensive. Just wait on that then. Canal of Abundance is fine, and then... I mean, we're going to trade Sepulchre of Heavens to these guys, meaning we can upgrade the Terracotta Wall instead. And I guess we'll wait on you. Because we'll have to declare war on them to take all their stuff. Does anybody know, can minor factions be confederated, like, by defeating them, or no? Or is it only actual major factions? I guess we'll find out at some point. Anyway, Settra, you will probably need to move through Sun-Scorched Bones to buff up your Tomb Guard, which you will have in numbers, but only after you get Root Marcher, because it's time to travel a little bit further. Alright, looks good to me. Skip, skip, skip. And in the turn, let's see where those rats go, and let's get the money from them. Alright, looks like we got another one of these. I wonder if these things are fading. What do these do? Post-battle loot income, raiding, raising, hero and Lord recruit rank. Ooh, that's actually kind of nice. And income from sacking and looting. Alright, fair enough. My Eternal Sovereign, the mortuary cult has discovered a ritual which could lead us to great treasures and lost sarcophagi of loyal Nehekaran kings. Sure, bring me treasure. And I take it this is 3 then? Yeah, 3. So we got 1, 2, and then 3 with little you know, numerals there, but anyway, you. I'm going to assume that you can actually reach these guys. You will also, oh, if we want to pop the Lich Priest in your army, which we most definitely do, we'll need to lose a unit. We definitely have way too many of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's lose one of them, the lowest level one. Like so. Pop you in. And then go after the rats. It looks like that gambit has once again paid off. You're gonna run, but you can't run far enough, little fella. Here you will be destroyed. Alright, close victory, medium casualties, lots of clan rats. This army has changed from its previous time, but we got more of the horse archers, which is exactly what we wanted. Here we go. Alrighty, for Nehekara indeed. Looks like we've got a choke point battle ahead for us, but unfortunately, despite the fact that the enemy has a solid deployment here with the Plague Claw catapults, where they're protected by the impassable terrain, the cliffside, and then the enemy has bunched up on the other side of the water. The range on the Skeleton Horse Archers at 154 is sufficient to hit the Plague Claws here, where their vanguard deployed, so they're all going to pincushion them. And of course, in the meantime, if the enemy wants to charge us and go after those units, we've got the Sepulchral Stalkers here, ready to hit back. And of course, make use of the choke point. Here we go, nice volley from the Sepulchral Stalkers, spitting their, I don't know, shotgun acid into the faces of all those clan rats. If they should charge forward and try to move and attack us, they're just going to take more damage. And if they sit there, they're going to continue taking damage, much as their chariots do, as the last one will rout under fire from all 6 units of our skeleton horse archers. And there we go. Sparkle Stalkers still doing the work, and the enemy is, by the looks of it, not wanting to charge forward, maybe wanting to make use of the choke point. But this is actually very much in our favor now, especially with those artillery gone. Oh, we don't need artillery of our own here, and it's now time to take position with the skeleton warriors who have finally closed the distance, and just as the enemy has started to want to move towards us. Ford the river, if you please, but know that you'll get hit by all of that range fire as you do. Admittedly, a few of our own units will probably get hit by the Sparkle Stalkers. You shouldn't really generally use them to fire over the heads of your own units like this. But it shouldn't be too bad because we have a slight elevation advantage on the Sparkle Stalkers as these guys have to move down. Either way, we don't have to just fire off the range units and can charge towards the enemy, who will start packing it up and running away. And the same situation is repeating itself on the other side of the map as well. Ooh, enemy lord attempting to cast the Grey Seer, but can't get the spell off when he's getting hit by those shotguns, or couldn't at least. And there we go. And with that, I do believe, with the charge from the chariots and the sepulchral stalkers, the enemy army will shatter, and the battle is ours. Fantastic. Choke point definitely worked in our favor here, despite the fact that the enemy was the one deployed. Oh, there we go. That was absolutely brutal. The poor little rats probably thought that they had it in the bag. They had 3 artillery pieces and a choke point, but the arrows from the horse archers and the shotguns from those sepulchral stalkers, 27, 36, 36, and 43,000 damage. Very, very nice. We are definitely taking the money after that. And Sureflesh's army is destroyed. Now, question, wait a moment. So their capital is here, the Swamp of Terror, which is a single settlement, meaning I guess Carrion Nest is in fact full of rats as well, isn't it? Go check it out. 832, but if it's full of rats, it won't cost anything, unless I'm mistaken. Oh, whoa, there's, whoa, can't speak words. There's 2 Skull Islands here. That's going to fund our entire early campaign. Hakor, can you deal? Yes, you can deal with the Skull Island. Go past this, go past the rat nest. I'm almost tempted to just send them out to sea immediately and peace out with them. It'll take a few turns to pick these things up. How much are you willing to give us now? 3.8. Oh, you're poorer than you were before. It's disappointing. We could still pick up Carrion Nest and then go out to sea. Alright, fine. Pick up Carrion Nest and then peace out with them, but hopefully they'll be able to offer us more money afterwards. But anyway, the Skull Islands. No, don't get it. Ooh, almost screwed that up. If you accidentally hit the... Why are you trying to move so weirdly, dude? Just go like this. Good lord. Don't go out to sea right now. If you accidentally clip these things when you're on land, they become nothing and you get nothing out of it, which would, be a real shame. Wakaf, I guess then you can grab this and also go out to sea. If we're sending both armies this way, maybe we should just wipe these guys out. We'll see. But anyway. Oh, I was gonna actually send you back here to deal with this. I'd wager you probably could take care of what's in this, depending on what tier the settlement here is. This army would have a difficult time stopping some units at the very least. 2 settlements. Alright, I'll think about it. Yeah, because see, this is tier 3, meaning that one's probably decent. Oh, hello, you have the exotic animals thing as well. Yeah, we don't know where Manfred's main stack is, and if he attacks Mortis Road, there's anything we can do about it, meaning I think we've no choice but send King Wakaf around that way, though we can also complete his army while we're at it. First of all, you need Tomb Guard instead of silly little spears. So let's... How many can you build at the same time? A lot. Wait. Why can we build the Golden Host of Mahrok? A moment. Golden Host of Mahrak. What unlocked that? It wasn't the... Oh, it was the Great Pyramid of... Wait, the Great Pyramid of Settra unlocks this? Huh, go figure. Golden Host of Mahrak, what do you do? You're another type of Nehekara warrior with 100 armor. Oh. That can combine nicely with the Hawk Legion of Settra. Huh, would we then need the regular Nehekara warriors in this army? Maybe, maybe not. Alright, well then, they're earmarked for you, but we don't have an army to recruit them. Either way, you can then go for some Tomb Guard. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, we'll need additional capacity for Settra. Ooh, you could use a Tomb Bark. Every army could use a Tomb Bark. At least one. We may not have Corpse Carts or Mortis Engines, but this is what we got, so we should make use of it. Do we want to replace you two with Skeleton Archer Chariots, or... I mean, we always could upgrade you to them if we desired to do so. This army buffs range thanks to Walkout of the First Dynasty, so we should maybe do so. Anyway, Canopic Jar Hoarder for you. Everybody still needs those. Especially if we want to build buildings that reduce the amounts. I was also going to get you a Scorpion, which we don't have here available as yet. Oh, you're going to need a Tomb Bark as well. Possibly two. I'm almost tempted to build a second Tomb Bark here. And just transfer it over. Distinct possibility. Anyway, let's just get another Tomb Guard for now. Yeah, we really need the additional army. I guess we're going to let this run its course then, and then unlock the army capacity, because it's clearly needed. Alright, that looks good. Settra, you're going to move in a second. Tutmos, you are acting as a scout, so stay out here. Prince Psamtik, you're in the same situation. Go out here. I need you to find Manfred. You're maxed out in terms of your Canopic Jar Hoarder, and let's go for, I don't know, special... Well, Assassinate maybe is the better pick. Alright, I don't see him. We'll find him, though. Hello, Gustav Wolfdrake has totally not suspiciously moved into the Palace of Dusk. Probably a good idea to wipe him out, then. Alright, fair enough. I would still like to trade these guys the Sepulchre of the Heavens, and I guess we'll have to bounce back towards it. How much is it worth to you, just out of curiosity? Sepulchre of the Heavens. 6.5k, still probably worth it, I'd say. They are no longer at war with somebody, they are still at war with... Break trade agreement with Thunderhoof. Go for it. Wait, no. That's our trade agreement. They are not trading with anybody. Alright, fine. Fair enough. We will give you Sepulchre of the Heavens. Like so. And then we'll hit the Palace of Dusk and wipe it out. Are you at war with anybody we know? You're not at war with these guys, and... Ooh, Oasis of Blood. Oh, it's an ogre camp, not a desert, but, you know, Kotari Desert means we'll go there. Anyway, Settra, you will now declare war on these guys after taking their money. This will also help in terms of preventing them from, you know, getting too many troops, like so. And then we'll have you attack the Palace of Dusk. Maybe auto-resolve it. Pyrrhic victory, really? Well, actually, that is a fair amount of Graveguard and all that. Alright, fine. Fair enough. I guess we'll have to see how well the Chariot of the Gods does in the confines of the walls, where it cannot maneuver very well. Sedget Temple. You can retake that. Alright, I'm not fighting this. Damage, but we can at least rebuild the basic garbage. Alright, and... I'm gonna say... I got an obelisk. Screw it, collect the income for now. You guys... join together. We can't build... Yeah, we can build carrion here. You guys, I know that you've got ranks, but at the end of the day... This isn't really a carrion army, it's mostly holding them for now, and then you can build the skeleton spears there, and... Oh, that was one extra. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just in case, do this. In case something changes. Oh, we can't uncollect the income because it'll prevent the additional recruitment, won't it? But anyway. Anybody else need to move or do anything? Nope, Settra, time to move. Palace of Dusk it is. Should be fun? Go. Alrighty, here we go. I'm curious to see how effective the Chariot is at bringing down a gate compared to a War Sphinx. War Sphinx may be a living battering ram, but hey, who knows? It's a Chariot of the Gods after all. Maybe it's just as good. Ooh, I like the gate here. Man, there's such a big difference in the quality of the gates between the different factions. Some are super like metal and fancy. The Skaven ones are just like a bunch of boards, and well, I meant, or was it the greenskin ones? But anyway, I digress. The gate is looking to be oh wow, actually, Settra's breaking through it quite quickly. Huh? Yeah, very nice. Alright, I'm happy about that. Alright, no problem at all. And here we go, let's enter the settlement. Oh, it's Settra gonna charge through some of those Graveguard, and, well, really as many units as we can. Got a few seconds before the enemy blobs up and forces us to essentially sit in place for a while. So we may as well charge through a few enemies while we do. There we go. Pop on into those Crypt Ghouls, want to delete them as fast as we can since they apply poison, so we charge them, we pop off a Wrath of Tra, and then just keep moving. Enemy's still having a reasonably difficult time stopping us at the current time, but right now we're just bouncing around in between the enemy units. And there's actually two reasons for doing that, not just for the damage, but also because it means that the enemy is not bunched up around the gate. Which means the rest of our units can mosey on, and here comes the War Sphinx. Looks like Settra gets trapped at last as he runs out of mass and speed. We got more units coming in, and there's the big old charge from the War Sphinx. It'd actually be better to have Necro Sphinxes in Settra's army rather than War Sphinxes, because we've got infantry damage kind of locked down by the chariots and Settra himself. I'll think about it. Though I'd hate to lose our main Sphinx, and 3 feels like it might be too many, doesn't it? I'll think about it. We'll see what kind of room we have remaining in his army. We could do 1 regular Sphinx and 2 Necro Sphinxes to deal with the single entities. Probably gonna have to reduce the numbers of Tomb Guard that way, but, well, then at least we'll have Sphinxes. Which are always nice to see, and it is Settra's army, so he's got to have some. But then again, like I said, I want to have a follower army around with Settra, so if he can or wants to switch units, he can. And besides, a follower army will be useful for essentially just taking territory if Settra is just out of range, so that he doesn't waste 2 turns. Anyway, the balance of power is already about 70-75% in our favor. Settra is still riding around, causing mayhem wherever he can. The Graveguard with halberds are not able to slow him down. I assume this isn't the halberd isn't the Blade of Tra, is it? Huh. Settra has the Blade of Tra as his weapon. I just gotta double check whether it actually in fact looks like this big old halberd that he has. Because otherwise he's not using the weapon that is his quest item, as does he. Well, either way, he's using the halberd certainly on the chariot, closing the distance once again into the blob of enemies, and casting on occasion to heal everybody up. And of course we've got our Toonbarks hovering overhead, dropping that AoE damage and protective aura on us, and helping us carry the day. The bounce power at about 85% in our favor. Settra will pop off another Wrath of Tra just as those bats land, to try to do as much damage with it as possible. Are these guys still firing down at the enemy below? Out of curiosity? You're not out of ammunition, are you? No, you're not out of ammunition. The reload is rather slow. What's the reload rate? 5.5 seconds. Now you should be firing, unless they're not able to actually fire whilst in melee. I'm not entirely sure. If that's the case, it might be better to just keep them sort of slightly behind the lines, if their range units aren't doing damage. We got the trickle damage coming in from the AoE effect, but it might be better to actually engage with the range units as well. Anyway, ooh, I almost thought that the War Sphinx would topple over. It reared up on its hind legs while sort of going up in elevation like that. Imagine being on the Howdah and the Sphinx just topples backwards. It would be a little bit unfortunate, but also hilarious, so, you know. All good's what I'm getting at. Anyway, the enemy just keeps on bringing more undead, but that's just the nature of fighting them. Settra, in the similar fashion to the Tombbarks, now lighting up the darkness, and that alone is worth having over the War Sphinx, just because the sort of spotlight effect on him means that in any dark battle we have in the future, we'll still be able to see Settra, and we'll be able to see the Tombbarks, and that's a great thing. There we go, still swinging away with that halberd. He's been in the midst of the enemy army for a long time now, rather than charging with the chariot, but he's doing pretty good. 335 kills and 58,000 damage. And definitely one of those chariots that can stick around in combat rather than necessarily just do charging. And it looks like the battle is very nearly ours now. Bounce powers just a sliver in the enemy's favor, maybe 5%. The last of the enemy units are beginning to melt away here. Well, or at least close to it. There isn't much left of them here, I think. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3 still running around out there, so we will still have to close with them until they melt, but nearly there. Probably should have also sent one of the Tombbarks at least away from the blob here so that they could move towards the rest of the units. And apply their AoE attacks. And I just saw one of these guys fire away, so maybe they do fire while in melee. Yeah, there we go. Huh, I wonder why that other one wasn't firing. You can fire while moving, yeah? Aggro deployment, fire while moving, yes. I don't know. Not that it matters over much. Still loving the Tombbarks. Anyway, looks like the battle is ours. There we go. Well, there are no horns of retreat. The undead are silent here, but we're not so chatty like ours, perhaps. But at the end of the day, it'll make no difference. Alright, Graveguard with halberds will melt away, and Settra, time to go and close the distance with the others to force them to melt. There's a little unit of halberds here, but they're not going to stop Settra's charge as he just charges directly through them. Alright, build up some speed and then go for the other unit as the rest of ours can close the distance with you. Well, actually, we might have one more charge available to us, though our other chariots go, yeah, they're just going to get in his way. He's got to do his own thing. Now, the one unfortunate aspect of using the chariot rather than the War Sphinx is that Settra has a couple of very nice auras available to him, like Unyielding Will. 55-meter effect range, melee attack and defense for everybody nearby. So while he's off doing his own thing like this, he's not providing the aura to everybody. Though I imagine that if we want to go for a sort of a Death Star situation, in more difficult battles, then we'll just keep Settra with the rest of the army rather than charging. Anyway, Settra just getting a few nice charges into the last units of Graveguard, while the other units in our army take care of the other, which I'm sure is either melting away or nearly done for already. And this poor unit of Graveguard will be able to do absolutely nothing. One last Wrath of Tra, knocking them away, and it looks like with that, the last Graveguard unit melts, and the battle is ours. This guy just seems to be walking away. He's like, nope, screw this, never mind, I'm out of here. And Graveguard do have agency, after all, unlike many of the other skeletons and such and zombies, but anyway. Alrighty, there we go. 573 kills and 84,000 damage for Settra, despite the close confines of the enemy territory, certainly proving the worth and the appropriate name for the Chariot of the Gods. Otherwise, it looks like one of the units of Tombguard got 351 kills, pretty solid. Maybe I'll name these despite the fact that we'll probably replace them with the sort of more elite variant, the Legion units of Tombguard, but anyway, I digress. Solid damage on one of the Tombbarks, solid damage on the Casket of Souls, the Line of Petra getting 47,000 damage. At last, the Chariots didn't see much play in that particular battle, because again, within an enemy settlement, it still worked out pretty nicely. Anyway, Scroll of Power, yeah, sure, fair enough, fair enough. And oh, one unit lost. Which idiot go? One of the Tombguard and got themselves killed. Not that it really matters for for those unfamiliar with the lore, Tomb King's units, basically all the Tomb Kings are effectively immortal. As long as they have bones, they can be put back. And even their constructs, like you can smash them apart and they can just put them back together. And that's what the mortuary cult does. And then everything will be all good again. So, dead, but, you know, not dead. Well, I mean, undead, you know what I mean. Anyway, occupy. And the same thing goes for Tomb King lords. They are Tomb Kings themselves. They also will reform, and also they do have some limitations. They do have to rest in sarcophagi periodically because you know, they get a little tired and hankering for a nap. But Settra's the only one who, through sheer willpower, isn't affected by that weakness. But anyway, enemy killed in battle. Hey, Eyes of the Desert, Sepulchral Stalkers. I actually forgot about you. I don't know if we have room in your army, Wakaf. And we'd have to get rid of the chariots if we wanted to put the Eyes of the Desert in here. And I do like the chariots, but I like the Sepulchral Stalkers more. It's alright. Well, we can put chariots in another army, I guess. Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll pop them in. And then Blessed Legion is going to go into Khalid's army, and then I haven't decided who's going to get the Nekesh's Scorpion Legion, but, well, other than the fact that it's probably going to be mixed with some Scorpions, but what I do know... Ammunition plus 20% for Lord's Army. Huh, that's nice. Storm Banner... Pretty big effect range. Huh, you're kind of neat for an Artillery Lord, potentially. Guardian for Lord's Army? What do you mean? Are you telling me that every single unit in the army has Guardian? That's kind of neat. Plus 50 armor, so I lightly tank your Lich Priest as well. Just wanted to take a look at these since it's been a while. What was I saying? I got distracted by this. I don't know, but it's all good. At least I hope it is. You little fella, what were you going for? Earthing and to try to get 5th generation priest for the additional research. Also, you're really going to need some healing. Huh. I take it you don't have anything here that will allow you to heal stuff faster? Ooh, and we got more canopic jars per turn out here as well. Gotta get more of these Lich Priests. Anyway, and ooh, wait. We got this to get Huron Lord Recruit rank plus 4, so we do want to make use of that to get some higher level units up and running pretty much immediately, don't we? Yes, we do. Anyway, what were we doing with Settra? You don't need Ancient Tyrant, at least not right now. You will be sagging settlements, but at least not yet. Embalmed in Elixir is good because you do need the extra HP, but I think it's now time to at last start going through Sun-Scorched Bones and Master Charioteers both. Probably put 2 points on each and then do the others. Let's do a couple of names for the Tomb Guard. Let's go Sepulchre Sentinels. Kind of like Sepulchral Stalkers. Now, you know what? I'm going to put that name with the, with this army, because it has with these guys, so yeah, I feel like that makes more sense. Anyway, let's do something else with you. Tomb Watchers. Loyal Bones, and how about... What do we have here? Mao Protectors. Alright, good enough for now. Settra, do you need to level everybody else? I think you're okay. I do hate to have to move back down here, but it's all good. Palace of Dusk, let's immediately upgrade you. We do have a decent chunk of change after all that, so we may as well spend some of it. Now, Great Pyramid of Settra. Let us upgrade the Mortuary Sanctum here, and then get rid of the Memorial Masons. Maybe start building the Pyramidians here as well, for more cash. This is possibly a good time to do it. You know what? So yeah, delete these buildings, like so, and replace them with Pyramidians, and then here, Funerary District will replace with a expensive military structure, I guess. Alright, we were always going to delete those, and now's a good time to do it. You can build the Royal Menagerie just so I don't have to look at the need to upgrade it constantly. Let's build up, at least for now, the Royal Barracks here, although we'll probably replace it with other stuff over time. Skull Repository, yeah, sure, we need that. We will also want additional Tomb Guard capacity, specifically the Halberdier capacity, although it's only a +1, so I think right now it's not the most worth it. And until we have another army, the other capacities don't matter all that much. Black Tower of Arcan, let's... Well, we are not building the Pyramidians, so let's upgrade these things. Although, I guess keep the Mortiferous Sanctuary for the public order. You know, we'll wait on that, because some of that stuff has to be changed and rebuilt. Springs of Eternal Life. We can't reach the expensive stuff, unfortunately, as yet. We will want the Pyramidion, though, but only after we upgrade all of these buildings. So let's do this Petrified Palm of Asaph. Let's upgrade the Sepulchre. And I guess that means we can just freely do... Well, I guess we could do this building. We do still want these mostly everywhere, although there will be a limit as to how many of these we actually need. You know, let's go for the Charnel Plaza for now. Go get that Necropolis Knights up and running as well. Anyway, you can go for the Mortuary House, and then we'll upgrade you just to make money, and then we'll get most of it back after we delete them. You can go for the Grand Ossuary, and then you... I guess we'll have to uncollect the income. Oh, no, we can't because you're recruiting, so yeah, alright, we'll do it next turn. What about you? Yeah, you'll be pretty okay. We can also bump up our public order massively by doing the Blessed Blade of Tra quest, but we're just going to wait on that a little bit, as I feel like it's probably a good idea to do so. Diplomacy. Been a while. No trade agreements other than with the Guardians of the Valley, who we need to, you know, take all of their territory, because they have a landmark territory. Huh. I wonder if we could just jump down here, take all of their territory, and then peace out with them, leaving the Charnel Valley to them? Maybe might be a decent idea if it allows us to not waste time. I wonder if Settra can reach this. Nah, it'll probably take 2 turns. We'll see. Anyway, for now, let's end the turn. Alright, trade gain for Hakor, good for Hakor. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Draining winds and growth reduction? This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. But what can you do? We are going to move Hakor to grab Carrion Nest while Prince Scout goes up here to find some of the elves. You're not... Are you kidding me? You can't reach Carrion Nest in 1 turn? Got a little bit more money for us. Alright, we gotta head out to sea afterwards anyway. You gonna go into raiding stands for the 1 turn and then head to Carrion Nest to lock down this province as well. How's the growth here, by the way? Just out of curiosity. Not great, admittedly. And we'll need more, well, I guess this entire territory will be growing. So, hello. Obelisk of Walat, but income from post-battle loot. Oh, I didn't know that you had this. How do you guys have 11? Oh, it looks like Nakai is still alive. Strength rank 17, 11 settlements. These guys have a surprising amount of territory. Huh, maybe this is one of the Lizardman factions that isn't broken because it's one of these little vassal factions. But yeah, Jeff's column as well. Okay, yeah, this all has to be ours. We need more armies up here. We need more armies everywhere. And... Oh. Come on, man. Why must you be distracting? I guess I shouldn't have traded that after all. Oh, look at the mana being lost from Settra's army. It's disgusting. But what can you do? Anyway, Tutmos. I guess... Okay, so it looks like the Nurglites have taken command of Numas here. I guess we don't need to push any further than this. You will then be going this way, I guess. Since we can see what's going on here thanks to Prince Psamtik. Move this way a little bit more. Would you be able to take Ash Crossing? Well, I don't know, but we'll find out. You can't reach it in 1 turn anyway, so let's go right to the edge of this territory. Are you able to use Entomb Beneath the Sands? You are. It'll heal you a little bit more. This will heal you even more, though. Maybe we'll do this. Alright. Probably more worth it than the other single troop. We could get you one of the temporary Legion or Regiments of Renown troops as well. Anyway, Settra, you are going to kill this because it's in March stance, and I feel like we should take advantage of that. Alrighty, and medium casualties. Well, it'll be a field battle. We can't auto-resolve it, but I'm not tired of that Chariot of the Gods yet, so let's play the battle. Alright, here we go. Did somebody say more Chariot of the Gods? Because that's what we're getting. Settra will quickly move towards the enemy away from the rest of his army. His arrival will be heralded by souls expelled from the casket as Settra charges right through the zombies and into the biggest blob of enemies he can find, so he can activate his Wrath of Tra and then charge right through once again. Very, very nice. Alrighty, swinging through that halberd a few times. We got other chariots to watch as well, not just Settra's. Nice charge into those direwolves, pretty much destroys them, and we got more charges into skeleton spears, which, by the looks of it, stop at least some of the chariots, but that's alright. We'll charge right through and then back away and charge again. Over on the left flank, we've sent forward our Tomb Sphinx, or our War Sphinx rather, our Tomb Bark, and a couple of our heroes to try to deal with the Verix Reaver's Black Knights. And these guys are the Great Sword variant, and actually a pretty darn solid unit. And we want to make sure to take them out so that they don't threaten our units with that armor piercing of theirs. In the meantime, we're bombarding the enemy a little bit with our Casket of Souls, but otherwise Settra is just sort of plowing a line through the enemy army, as the enemy has way too much infantry to stop him. And keep in mind, we have not increased his speed in any way really as yet, so he's going to get hopefully faster and more effective. What we really need is a banner of swiftness, kind of desperately to be perfectly honest, because what Settra does lack and really require is a Strider. I'm actually surprised that he doesn't have a Strider or Wayfarer on the chariot, but oh well. The banner will make up for it if we can finally find one. Anyway, more charges coming in from the rest of the chariots. Tombbark keeping a few of the enemy skeletons sort of locked in place. Though Settra, unfortunately, smashes into the Tombbark. Too bad he can't just pass under it. But oh well. And I gotta point out, the main enemy army sort of has not closed the distance with us because it was distracted by Settra the entire time. Definitely same kind of vibes as Serena Catron on her sled there, going into the center of the enemy army and splitting like half of them off as they try to deal with that. Settra can do the same thing. And if we have enough points to spread around with him, we can also get a Skullstorm available, so charge in Wrath of Tra, Skullstorm, and then book it on out of there. And for another charge, I mean, not back off. And there we go. Fair amount of enemies that he charged through. Eventually does get stopped, but only for us to activate the Wrath of Tra again. Over on the left flank, it looks like the Verix Reavers have been destroyed, and we have closed the distance with a couple more chariots who are hot on the heels of the skeletons there, who now get pressed by the Tombbark, the heroes, and the Khemri and War Sphinx as well. Looking good. Looks like we have a corpse cart moving towards us by itself rather than supporting the infantry, but what could it really do here? What support can it offer? It might offer sport for Settra, but otherwise nothing else. In fact, this entire army is just sport for Settra and his chariots, continuing to send enemy units flying up to 302 kills and nearly 15,000 damage as well, and the enemy is sadly definitely running out of units. Alright, just a little bit more work. I believe the enemy lord is attempting to catch first Settra, then the chariots, but he's too slow in his current state, so nothing he could do. Gonna close the distance, maybe get a few swings at him, bowl over the Strigoi. And the battle is just about done. He is still a big boy. Certainly towering at least over the horses, but not for long, as his HP has dropped down to 30%. He's debilitated, he's disintegrating, and apparently the horses are headbutting him to death slowly but surely. Down he goes, and with that, another battle is ours. Alrighty, there we go. Settra being an absolute menace on these wide open desert battlefields now. A little bit more of an issue in close confines of cities, but if we wanted to, we could always switch to Khemri and War Sphinxes for city assaults and keep on the Chariot for field battles. At the end of the day, Settra should have the choice of whatever he feels like using for individual battles. But anyway, we'll take the money for obvious reasons. Lovely. It's so fun. It's so damn fun. Alrighty, you can go for channeling to at least counteract the massive loss, and yeah, I guess we're gonna have to either... we can probably hit Oasis of Blood in one bound. We have to bounce back to Sepulchre of Heavens. These guys don't want to peace out either, so there's no doing that. I wonder if we have the time to wipe these guys out and take Qatar for ourselves. Oh, it's poorly defended too. Maybe we could take Qatar, then White Palace, then Sepulchre, but then that leaves the Gateway of Eternity, which is kind of annoying. Just not enough armies down here. But also, of course, the massive distances that Old World is, you know, has. Anyway, I believe that's all that we had to do with regards to that. Let's see what we got to do with regards to building. Now, there's a few things critical. How many more turns do we have of this? 8 turns. So we'll want to build most of the advanced military structures in Khemri itself. In fact, let's just take a quick look at Khemri. We have this. I want to be able to recruit pretty much everything here. So, assuming that we delete you and you, that'll leave room for 1, 2, 3, which means there's not enough space, because we will also want to probably build the Eternal Sentinels pretty much everywhere. Though, admittedly, I suppose we could forego it and build it in a different territory. And just leave Khemri itself with all of the... Alright, okay, but we do need royal burial chambers everywhere, because the +5 canopic jars counteracts the need for canopic jars caused by the ancient kingdom buildings. So there's no escaping this. Huh. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I guess we could forego either the Nehekara Citadel or the restored Necrosphinx thing. I will continue considering it. For now, though, we'll want to at least start in deleting this. We probably want the growth to continue for at least a little while. Frankly, the control is nice too, but I'll delete the Mortiferous Sanctuary here. And this will probably, you know what, we'll actually replace the second Crypt Barracks and build it. Oh, the Tomb Scorpion building got completed. Not nice. Man, if these guys have all these Sepulchral Stalkers, maybe it would be better to just go straight for SF instead of the... instead of Xar the Faceless. 20 speed when an own... The thing is, 20 speed when an own or ally territory is complete garbage. So this is effectively just 20 movement speed and +4 attack when fighting a desert. This will buff up some Sepulchral Stalkers, which might be the better thing to do. I will continue thinking about it. It's my catchphrase now. Anyway, we will ignore you for now. But we will outright the building. I was doing that. We wanted to start building the Pyramidians here. So you, Faded Pyramidian, and you, Faded Pyramidian. Yes. Alright. Then we here will need an advanced military structure while we can afford it for cheap. The question is... Well, I suppose if we don't build one of these in Khemri, we can build one of them there, although... We could just build this building here instead. It's not any cheaper, admittedly, so we might not necessarily want to build it right now, although the construction cost -1% for all buildings faction-wide means it will pay for itself, just very, very slowly. And 6k, eh? Yeah, fine, maybe. And just go for it. Better not... Don't screw me on this game. Anyway, the Cracked Lands. Yes to the Pyramid... Well, no. We're waiting for the Black Tower of Arcans, so let's just ignore you guys, because you'll be swapped out. Springs of Eternal Life, you can upgrade the Grand Ossuary, and I guess the Funerary District, they will be replaced as well. But probably only after we reach Tier 4. Probably better to grow all the places to Tier 4 before starting to spam Pyramidians. Not that they're crazy expensive, or maybe just go all the way to... Maybe just stay at Tier 3 and just start on the Pyramidian as soon as you're done. I'll think about it. We'll continue thinking about it. Amsu's charge, you're fine as you are, though we will want to delete the statue here. And I think other than the Sejet Temple, which we'll need to uncollect the income at, and build a mastaba, I think we're good to go. Alright, so build you. And the rest of this is good to go. Just upgrade this so I don't have to look at you every turn. Alright, looks good to me. That's another end turn unless I'm mistaken. Settra's real busy down here, and we haven't found Manfred. I assume he's in the midst of his fight. He's still strength rank 49 with the Poxmakers. We've destroyed 2 of his armies so far, but haven't seen Manfred himself. Although the Moonslaker trait will be pretty much useless to us, which is kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. Anyway, end turn. Alright, what do we have here? Servant Sent, miscast base chance reduction versus spell intensity, wins a magic power reserve. Yeah, okay, we need the magic power reserve at the cost of the canopic jars just to counteract the loss that we currently have. But let's give this a read. A Lich Priest. The Lich Priests of the Mortuary Cult have left their necropoli in search of servants to aid them in their holy work. The incantation of preservations must be maintained and furthered. However, not everyone is a suitable candidate for such work. Who can we spare? Many bones and bodies. Without the tireless work of the Lich Priests, the Tomb Kings would not properly be preserved and adequately prepared for their glorious reawakenings. We must give the Mortuary Cult that which they ask, lest their great work be halted. Yeah, some nice stuff. Mostly I want the Winds of Magic Power Reserve. It's a big amount of canopic jars, but we'll deal with it. Anyway. Real quick, now we need you to grab the carrion nest here. Like so. And then we gotta head directly towards those skull reefs. Hopefully while we have the reduction. So we'll just auto-resolve this. Looks okay. Yeah. We'll just auto-resolve this and occupy it. Like so, and the Road of Kings is ours once more. We will go into worship, and we will build this, so I think we'll replace that with a funerary district. You will now offer us your 4.8k, and we'll have you break your agreement with the Thunderhoof. We're also trading with the Thunderhoof. And... oh wow, these guys have a non-aggression pact with like everybody. Although, wait, I'm wondering... maybe we wait the turn. If this army is still here, I think it's a red territory. I don't really care about it. Yeah, but then we'd have to go and wipe them out anyway. Oh, what the heck? Oh, okay. First, I thought I saw the little green tree sign, and I thought it was wood elves here in the desert. But well, I mean, Dune Sahali and all that. But anyway, that is a Bretonnian faction. Still too close to the desert, however. And we'll vassalize other Bretonnian factions elsewhere. I'm not concerned about the ones that are super near to us, is what I'm getting at. Yeah, anyway, should we actually wipe these guys out? I gotta think about that. Maybe we should have sent the scout over here, and just to see. Oh, right, and you actually could use a Tomb Prince, but we don't have that. You are intelligent, not the type I want, so we are going to have to wait. And if it isn't Manfred, I was gonna... okay, fine. I guess we're going up here. Alright, and you are in range, Settra, so might as well. We were looking for this army. He keeps forcing us to move away from where I want it to be. Good lord. What can you do? Fearless in Death, and let's go... I don't know, one of these. I don't really care, because they're all garbage. Whatever. Alright, and then you can go for... I still haven't decided on these. Oh, it's +3? Yes, 3 scorpions. That's what we're doing. Easy. And we can now immediately build 4 scorpions and pop it into that scorpion buffing lord's army and get them going, Slaneshi Giggle. Loving Creator. You could start buffing up the little sphinxes in this army, in theory. Or we keep going through this. Construction costs -5 for all buildings in the territory that we're in. Could also get additional capacities with the big boys. Maybe that's the better way to do it. Oh, these don't lock each other? Oh, I thought that they locked each other like the final versions. Oh, we get them all. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, well, well. Yes, please. Wait, what does Laboratory do for you? Nothing. For all... I don't know why the game is so insistent on that Laboratory trade. It's kind of meh. And it's like the capstone for like a whole lot of heroes for a lot of factions. Do we want to go for Tomb Strike or do we want to go for Esteemed Combatant? What's the likelihood of anybody actually attacking Settra's army? I don't know. Might as well get Esteemed Combatant and go through it. will eventually come in handy. Anyway, Manny. And you've got another army out here too. You were just putting everybody close together to fight us. Unfortunately, we're just deleting army after army of yours, and your faction will soon be broken. Die. Alrighty, here we go. Appropriate to have the final fight of the episode against Manfred, who we've been trying to find with our scouts and hunt down with Settra for the episode. Anyway, we're going to start the battle by going towards the enemy army and trying to bait Manfred into landing on the ground. Unfortunately, it seems that he doesn't want to do so, or at the very least doesn't want a direct contest with Settra himself, which does make sense in terms of Manfred's character. Instead, he'll try to go for our weakest and most fragile, but also most magical artifactly and whatever a unit, which is our Casket of Souls. Unfortunately for Manfred, Settra closes the distance pretty darn quick. He's at 102 speed, and even the lack of Wayfarer isn't going to make him much slower. Now, we've done this before when we fought the enemy's army with a Terrorgeist, and that is to use the mass of the chariots not to do damage, but to trap the enemy. If we had just used infantry, Manfred would simply walk on out of there with his horse, or if Hellsteed, but with this pile of chariots pressing him, he can't escape, meaning he's pretty much screwed, and he's already taken massive amounts of damage, dropping about 30% of his HP. A couple more hits from somebody, and he'll be done for. And of course, both Settra and the War Sphinx are making sure that he can't get out of there. There we go. The enemy Vargeists have landed, but the enemy isn't using them appropriately, landing them directly on top of the Tombbark and the Skeleton Warriors and Tomb Guard. The units of Vargeists are unfortunately quite fragile. What they are doing here, however, is serving as a distraction for the Black Knights to charge into the rear of the Tomb Guard. But O2 can play at that game as the Kepler Guard, the Tombbark, and the Lion of Tra close the distance and start breaking those Black Knights down, bringing them down below half HP. Our artillery continues volleying into the enemy Skeleton Warriors as they close the distance. Over on the right flank, Settra has also closed the distance with the enemy Black Knights, showing that the cavalry versus chariot matchup is certainly not always going to go the way of the cavalry, as his horses headbutt and his halberd tears through the second unit of Black Knights. Chariots mowing down tons of skeletons as they move, and it looks like the rest of our army is just plain closing the distance with most of the enemy now. Could again separate the Tombbarks so that they don't stack their AoE effect, but otherwise we're looking pretty good. Chariot's going to stay in the combat for a few seconds until the charge bonus runs out, and then just going to back off, and don't need to do too much cycle charging here, however, as the enemy army was pretty much doomed as soon as Manfred foolishly went for that Casket of Souls. And he's certainly not going to be getting those books of Nagash either. I really do gotta send an army or two. Well, I guess we'll do it while expanding. I'd love to pick up a few of those books of Nagash, but they're really quite far away, and we just don't have the armies to deal with all of them right now. Xandri will still probably be the first. And I believe we should have a pyramid available at Xandri as well. So definitely a critical pickup in terms of locations, so one of our other armies will do that. But anyway, in the meantime, we've got the Skeleton Spears and, well, just generally speaking, the entire enemy hordes of infantry melting away. Only the corpse carts really remain. And funnily enough, this is kind of the opposite of what you'd normally do. It's where you'd focus down the piles of corpse carts first so that they cannot heal or otherwise support the enemy units with their Vigor Mortis. However, in this particular situation, with the sheer amount of infantry damage that we've got available to us with Settra, the War Sphinx, the Chariots, and the Tombbarks, there is no reason to do so. We simply left the corpse carts to last, and we're still good. Admittedly, it would also have been a lot easier to deal with the corpse carts with range units, but we don't really have them here, especially since Settra's been using the melee chariots. The rain chariots, with their fragility, are not quite as capable of keeping up with him. But anyway, another lovely little fight. And Manfred goes down. We'll see if he comes back, but who knows. Alright, there we go. Once again, no problem at all. Solid little bit of damage on Settra, though he was busy trying to pin Manfred in place, which clearly worked, as Manfred got basically no damage whatsoever, and was actually outdone by one of his White Kings. Otherwise, we got solid damage on the Khemri Drift here, 103 kills and 19,000 damage, as well as the Tomb Watchers with 21k and 188 kills in the first Tomb Guard to reach rank 7 as well. Obviously taking the money, as we do, and I guess going after Stefan Haupt Anderson next turn. Very nice little Imperial name. Channeling. Come all the way down here, have you? What do we have here? I guess we're going through Sun-Scorched Bones, and we'll start popping a couple points into Master Charioteers afterwards as well. Could really use more ammunition on the Tomb Barks. Huh, so that's 250 now. But anyway, Gold Sigil Sword and more weapon strength when fighting the vampire counts. We got a plus 20% now? So plus 10% and plus 10%. Yeah, okay, well, if we ever make our way into the Empire and need to fight vampire counts again, I guess we can do so pretty well. The Drakenhof Conclave has 7 settlements remaining here. 1, 2, this one's all the way down here. Why did I give you back? 1, 2... 3, 4, and I assume this entire location is also theirs. What about this? No, this is... Oh, if we go up here, we'll come into contact with the Nurglites, eh? Well, not much we can do about it. You able to reach Ash Crossing now? Oh, no, you're not. Oh, well. You heal just about the same amount. Alright, so start on the approach, and this enables you to recruit from global, meaning we can grab a skeleton spear on the way to Ash Crossing. Lovely. Otherwise, we've got Tutmos, who is gonna go... Wait, where was I gonna send you again? You're wise, and... Oh, right, you are going to find the other elves. I guess you can go... Where's the other one? I guess Prince Scout can sort of go up the coastline, like this, and then go wherever he needs, and you can go through. It's not the most critical, I will admit, but at the same time, I would like to see if there are other landmarks around here, so we need to pay attention to that, because these two are news to me, especially both of them in a single province, which means we definitely want the barrier idols, no doubt about it. We want the books as well, which are admittedly fairly distant. Anyway, you guys move for now. Prince Psamtik, you are acting as a scout still, but not quite as critical as it once was. Let's just find out what's over here. Tide of Defilement. Oh, there's a second Nurglite faction here. I wasn't expecting that. And yeah, okay, so these guys do own this entire province. And I see no landmarks here as well. So we got the... Okay, wait. Somebody said that some of the Great Pyramids were missing in the old world. Hopefully not too many of them. Oh. We can get this for Settra right now with 10,000 gold. Expert charge defense and a plus 50% increase to his Oh, not his damage. Affected units, allies in range does not affect self. So it's a big buff to everybody around him for 30 seconds. Pretty nice. No need for it, but pretty nice. As in, no need for it right now. We will eventually, obviously, get it. Research rate is about to drop because we are going to get Wisdom of the Second Dynasty. We got all those extra Scorpion capacities, so we might as well get one up and running. And we did get that Treacherous Lord, which admittedly is in a lower level than I'd like, but, you know, gotta put him to use. King Wakaf. Oh, you can in theory... we probably get you some Tomb Guards with halberds. Want to get Settra some of those as well. We were going... Oh, they're going to take 2 turns, though. And we got these Screaming Skull Catapult capacities. Yes, all the capacities coming together. Yeah, I think you have not enough with an infantry line right now, so delete the 2 chariots. I hate to do it, but we can build them easily and quickly. And get a couple of halberdiers, then. Frankly, decent likelihood I just replaced all of these guys with halberds. And we'll still need space for... Well, you have the Lich Priest, but you'll need at least 1 Necrotect to buff up all the Sepulchral Stalkers. Oh, wait. That reminds me, we actually want the special Sepulchral Stalker in here. Like so. Oh, well, then I guess no additional Tomb Guard. We'll just change you all to halberds. Keep these 6, I guess, skeleton horse archers. No artillery in this army might be a bit of an issue, but at least this way we won't waste time, and yeah, you need a necrotect. Frankly, the type of necrotect you want is the type that Settra has, because it'll be able to heal all 5 of the sepulchral stalkers. So once Settra gets the necrotect he wants, we could just trade out the guy that he has in his army. Makes more sense. And I still haven't decided whether we want to just peace out with these guys and ignore them for now. They will have that one settlement, but they will redeclare war on us because they don't like us very much. I might fight these guys, though, and I'm not super intent on going after the Bretonnians here, at least not yet. We have a lot of other stuff to do. We really need to clear out the orcs because it's inevitable that they attack us. But also, yeah, you know what, screw it, just peace out with the rats.
Do us all favor, Boone. Go bury yourself.
Let them fight Leofric's Fellowship for now, and we'll deal with them later.
Good, yes.
In 10 turns, we can always redeclare war on them as well, once we've picked up the critical stuff around here. Plus, it's a little bit of extra money to spend, which is nice. Necropolis of Khemri. You are going to go for the restored tomb here, build up the refurbished workshop, and then we'll keep building up those pyramidions, and then once they're tier at least 2, I guess, slowly start replacing these with more of the refurbished stone whatevers. And then the other building will be replaced by the treasure tombs. This will be, well, we'll have a couple of sort of central money-making territories. And try to limit the over-recruitment. Anyway, I would like to get a second Khemrian War Sphinx in Settra's army, so we're going to pop in the ruined War Sphinx shrine. Cracked lands, what do we have here? Though admittedly Settra's army kind of struggles with big old single entities, he will have Tomb Guard that'll be able to take care of it later. You're waiting to grow. Wait, did this increase in cost? Or is it always like this? Well, whatever. Income from all buildings faction-wide. I wonder how much money this would give us right now. I don't want to spend 500 of this, but it is curious. Control, research rate, and corruption rate. Well, not until we make way more of these guys. Canal of Abundance. Yes to the Grave Port. Oh, wait. Switch you to the Worship of Construction Reduction. You're at a +1, meaning as long as you're in this type, you can have whatever building you want here. We could do, I guess we could do a treasure tomb here. Kind of pointless to build a pyramidion because it won't be able to, we won't be able to take the advantage of building anything else with it. Also, this place seems like a decent place to build a treasure tomb. Income from post-battle loot, magic item drop chance, income from all buildings in the province is useless, but the region bonus, including this particular territory, is probably pretty valuable. So, yeah, alright, that's decided. And you will need upgrades, so let's go for the mausoleum here. Or do we... Oh, I was going to say, or do we wait for the Sepulchre of Heavens, but maybe not. Alright, do this. Maybe. No, it's only a 10% reduction. Yeah, just build it now. It'll make money. And then Temple of the Sun. Yes, I wanted to start building the Pyramidion here. Alright, and then the Scorpion Nest, I guess, will be kept. We will need to delete this, but to replace it probably in this territory. Depending on the degree to which we want to make Khemri the main settlement a moneymaker as opposed to a recruiter territory. You know what I mean. Oh, also, did we... Oh, I replaced the... I was going to build a defensive structure here, but then I promptly forgot about it. Alright, build these for now, and then we'll delete them later anyway. Just make us money until we're ready to let them go. Oh, well, although, wait. Build this, delete the... No, we can't delete you, because we need the extra growth. Until you're at tier 4. Alright, fine. Just stay as you are then. Alright, that's decided. Anyway, I think this is probably going to be a pretty good place to call it, so I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, well, I guess we can end one turn. I don't think anybody's going to attack us anyway. What's the likelihood that this guy even tries? If anything, it's more likely he just tries to run away rather than... Well, no, he's got a full stack here. Yeah, alright, let's end the turn so that I don't have to deal with something. I'm just ending the turn is what I'm getting at. Oh, and this will allow us to get our new army. Anyway, end turn. Alright, looks like no further attacks, but it's only a matter of time, at least where the orcs are concerned. And aha, I see you're building. Yeah, we gotta book it on down there. Alright, after we take the Oasis of Blood, but we'll do that next time. We got the Wisdom of the Second Dynasty now, so we got additional control and growth, as well as the new army, which we'll start building up and make use of the +4 Scorpion thing, as well as this treacherous little fella, to get some Scorpion units going. I forgot we got the first Hyro Titans as well. Yeah, all the capacities are coming in. And we can also probably have you recruit some extra stuff for a few other armies and just sort of disperse them to various other lords. For now, though, start on your Scorpions. It'll be a sort of a solid main, well, not main line, but solid unit to base the army around. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to call the episode here. Next time we will proceed with Hakor to grab both of these Skull Islands and hopefully fund our empire. Faster we can unlock more armies, the faster we can both expand and get more stuff going, so that'll be nice. We'll knock out this army and keep working on Manfred. Maybe even wipe him out altogether next episode as well, before heading either northward or southward, depending on what Kugath is going to be doing. We do have to destroy him, but at the same time, we have other stuff that we will want to do. Also, how much money was it again? Kalita, the 2.5k canopic jars isn't so bad. 50k. Yeah, I think we can certainly manage that relatively soon. I estimated between turn 50 and 60 is when we would be confederating Kalita, and I think that's the same. Anyway, more Settra to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes and longer campaign. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.